Hello, 6A parents and guardians. I'm Miss May. I'm one of the 6A English Language Arts teachers. I also happen to be one of our resident technology helpers unofficially. But last year, when we were doing online classrooms, many of our parents ran into some struggles while they were trying to help their students. So, in order to help you avoid those same struggles, I wanted to just take you on a quick tour of Google Classroom and how our team tends to use these resources. So when your student logs into Google Classroom, they will see multiple classes showing up, most likely classes that they were in from previous years when they had used Google Classroom before. So when they go to sign in, they're going to click on this little plus tab right here, and then they're going to want to join a class. So mine might look slightly different because I am in teacher mode, but you should see their school email address that ends in @leominsterschools.org. And then each teacher will provide them with a class code. Once they type that code in, it will automatically add them to that class. Now, I'll show you what my Google Classroom will look like. This is not finalized, but it works for our purposes today. This first page is what's called a stream, and you'll notice you navigate using these tabs up at the top. So if you scroll down, there will be posted announcements about things going on in class, reminders for upcoming deadlines, and just general information. I do allow students to comment on things in my stream, but they're not able to post things themselves. This will vary from teacher to teacher. Now, this next tab is the most important. The second tab is classwork. Some teachers allowed their assignments to show up in the stream, but I found that that was confusing for my students and parents last year, so I'm not going to do that. I separate things by the week, and then I create a sort of schedule so that students can see what will be expected of them from day to day. So you can see right here, there's going to be a Google Slides presentation for that first week. Then all they need to do is log into that and then go down, and it will have, here's everything that you need to do on Monday, including the links to what they need to be doing. Then the next slide will be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, etc. So when we go back to the Google Classroom page, these assignments are still in Google Classroom. So unfortunately, I'm not in student view, but students will have the opportunity to click a turn in button. And that's the biggest thing that the students need to remember to do. Once they have finished an assignment, they need to mark it as turned in, and then they'll do that at the end of every day. Now, any resources that are associated with that assignment, including worksheets, videos, other links, etc., will be included below the written instructions within that section. So your student needs to make sure that they're reading all of those and looking at all of the links included with that. A lot of the times, if there is a piece that the students feel like they're missing, it's because they didn't go in and read these instructions here. So the next thing that they're going to do is they can actually view their grades in Google Classroom. Now, I don't actively have any students in this because the school year hasn't started yet, but they can look and see what score they got on a given assignment if they click on this grades tab at the top. Now, the nice thing is that you as guardians are able to be added into my classroom as well. Now, this looks a little bit different from you. So I would add your email address, and then you are able to get classroom email summaries sent to you. So once I add that in, you'll get an email to your preferred email address, and you will have to accept that invitation as your student's parent or guardian. Then you can actually choose. Do you want to have a weekly update from the Google Classroom, or do you want to have a daily update? Now, I find that a lot of parents who get the daily updates get kind of to the point where they ignore them because they don't need to see that information every day. So I would actually suggest the weekly one unless there's something that you're actively working on from day to day with your student. Now, these email summaries, Google actually provides a great rundown for what is included in those. So in the email summaries, you actually get any missing work that was not turned in when the summary was sent. So if you get the summary at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and your student turns something in at 2:01, it will not be there. The students can check that in their grades page. So if you ask, hey, I thought, you said you turned this in, but it says on this email that you didn't, have the student pull up their Google Classroom and show you on the grades where it says turned in. The grades will show anything as missing if the due date has passed and the student did not click the turn in button. But if a student finished an assignment and it still says missing, more often than not, it's just because they forgot to click the turn in button. I can technically still see their work, but I'm not able to give any feedback or grades on it if they have not turned that in yet. Then you can also get upcoming work, so work that's due today and tomorrow for the daily emails or for the weekly emails, what's coming up in the next week, if that's been posted. Not all teachers will have the entire week posted when that email goes out. Some might prefer to post it day by day. Then you can also see the class activities, so different announcements, assignments, and questions recently posted by the teacher, specifically in the stream. Now, one thing that you will not get is that you will not get a rundown of a student's grades. You just get missing and upcoming work. So that is something that I will send out on a regular basis. But if we're not taking a lot of grades one week, I may not give that feedback to the families, but I will try to do so on a fairly regular basis so that you do know what's going on. If you do want more information about this, I will actually post this link to the Google Classroom support in our Team 6A Google Classroom. So we are sending out an invite. You should see something from your student's homeroom teacher coming through shortly if you haven't already, and it'll invite you to the Team 6A Skyview orientation. So if you look at the classwork there, we actually have some interviews with people that your teachers will see around the school so you can get a sense of who they are and what they do. We have some orientation information, so frequently asked questions. We just posted a new questionnaire for parents and guardians to fill out about their students to help us get to know them, and then a virtual tour of the school. Then this is all the other helpful information. So we've got a curriculum guide, the summer reading list, the school handbook. I would take a look at that. The school calendar, the free and reduced lunch application. So if we go back in person, you'll want to make sure that you filled that out if you qualify. And then a little bit about Youth Venture that we do at the middle school level. So I will add a link to the parent and guardian information for Google Classroom. But if you do have any other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to either myself or your students' other classroom teachers. We are more than happy to help you out with this, and we understand that this is just an added struggle to having to help your student at home. So whatever we can do to make this a little bit easier on you, we are here for it. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you guys soon.